Hey, what's up, y'all? It's Steve again, Harmless Rebel. I've done quite a few videos lately, but I haven't done any updates or metal videos really. So I wanted to put something together real quick. I mean, I've been listening to a lot of metal like I always am. So just jump in. I'm going to end this with a couple of Grails. These are two albums that have been on my that I've actually wanted, even when I was collecting, or mostly listening to CDs back in the late 80s and early in the 90s. In the late 80s I was listening to cassettes, but I've always wanted original pressings of these, so I was super stoked. So let's just jump in though. I'll save those till the end. Start off, if you guys watch my channel, I love Gravedigger, and there's a couple labels that have slowly been pressing the Gravedigger EPs and some of the live stuff and just some of the rarities to vinyl. I really wish. I'll talk about that in another video. Um, was it Jolly Roger? Yeah, Jolly Roger announced middle of last year that they were going to release this. So I got together with Scott Waters and we pulled our money to save on shipping. I can't remember where these, if it comes from Germany. Say on the back. Anyway, from Europe, so we can get these. But this is tunes from Vakken, and I've had this on CD since it came out. I think it was in 2002 ish when this was originally released. I was really happy to see it. It's a really good live set, really good sound quality. If you're a Gravedigger fan, grab this. They do all the Jolly Roger stuff. Has been really limited. I think the two EPs they did like 100 on colored vinyl and like 200 on black vinyl. That one there was only a few hundred as well. So if they're still out there, go ahead and grab them. This is a really cool find. I was actually really shocked to run across this. This is one of those albums that I've seen people talk about over the years. When I've seen, I know Martin Popoff talked about this album in one of his books. This was a one and done. I shouldn't say that. I'll get back to that in a second. But the band released this EP, and I think it was 82 or 83. Self-released. But this is Argus, and it's their self-titled 12-inch. This is the only thing that they've ever released. Kind of one of the cult underground EPs. Really good. Traditional metal, kind of a early doomy edge to it. The song Lady Killer definitely has a Sabbath thing going on. Really killer EP though. I've listened to this a bunch of times. If you run across this, it's kind of a must have, but the price is kind of shooting up. I got it for a decent deal, but I mean these are going for $50 to $100, depending on the condition. I got really lucky with the condition on this one. So the band got together in like 2005 or 2006. They got back together, and they got together with the drummer, the former drummer from Morbid Angel and from Incubus, Opprobrium Incubus, not the pop metal or the alternative band. And they brought in another really good guitarist. Both guys had been in a bunch of bands. I remember maybe 5 or 6 years ago news from that they signed with Shadow Kingdom and were going to release their debut album, and just nothing ever came of it. I looked to see what was going on, and according to all the online information, they're still together. I maybe they, because of COVID, the album didn't get done yet, but I would really like to hear some more from these guys, especially when you start talking about the kind of let's see if I got it here. Yeah, Mike Browning is the drummer. So, I mean, he's been in so many bands, but he was in After Death, fantastic band. Obviously, Morbid Angel. Let's see, Incubus, which changed their name to Opprobrium. The guitar player was also from After Death. And, I mean, so you've got some really skilled guys there. So hopefully we see more from them. Next up, speaking of Scott Waters, as soon as they announced this, he messaged me about it. It was a little pricey because it was a limited run and it was Europe only. But from a label that I would really like to see good distribution. There is one distributor here in the U.S. that carries stuff from this label, which is Night of the Vinyl Dead. Unfortunately, he doesn't get everything. He only gets basically the leftovers. So if you want the really limited stuff like this, you still got to order it from Europe. But this is Train Kept a Rollin' Live 79. Any of this early Twisted Sister stuff is fantastic. I love it. Let's see. 292 out of 456. And I don't even remember him saying, I thought it was only 300 that were getting pressed, but regardless, Night of the Vinyl Dead always does killer stuff. It's always limited pressings, and when they run out, the prices go through the roof. So if you run across this, or if you see it on Heavy Metal Museum or one of those guys on eBay, it sounds awesome. The only thing I wish they would have done, they did all this pink treatment, and then they did black vinyl. This is one of those cases where I think the pink vinyl would have been cool. Or maybe like a pink and black, kind of like what they did with the Stay Hungry repress a few years ago. However, that Stay Hungry repress didn't sound that good. Next up, just one of my all-time favorites, Thin Lizzy. I already had a really nice copy of this, but this was a white label promo that I ran across, so I had to buy it. Black Rose. Not one of my favorite albums. This would probably be... It wouldn't be in my top 5 from Thin Lizzy, but it's still a great album. And again, just the fact that it's a white label promo, I had to have it. So next up, a little punk. Actually, is there another punk album in here? Nope. I must have put it back. A little bit of punk. So I ran across this, and I had to buy it. It's in great condition. The vinyl looked unplayed. It's a UK pressing on Vertigo. But this is New Wave. I believe this was 70. Was it 78 or 79 when this came out? Maybe it doesn't say it on here. I know it said it online, though. I feel like it was 78 or 79. But, I mean, that Ramones, Patti Smith, early Talking Heads, The Damned, Boomtown Rats, Runaways, New York Dolls, Dead Boys, who I love. Flamin' Groovies, and Richard Hell and the Voidoids. The real surprise here, I've always known about the Flamin' Groovies. I've always heard of them. The Flamin' Groovies song on here, Shake Some Action, is fantastic. I listened to that B-side like 4 or 5 times just to hear that song again. So you guys will have to tell me if... So the album Shake Some Action is actually the name of the album. You guys will have to tell me if that's worth picking up. Because, like I said, I know a couple people that really love the band. I've never really given them a chance, though. And like I said, that song really blew me away. I knew pretty much every other song on here. Sonic Reducer from Dead Boys is just a classic. Damned, New Rose, Hollywood from the Runaways, Judy as a Punk from the Ramones. I mean, just fantastic songs. Let's see, Cherry Bomb is on here. Let's see, Who Are the Mystery Girls from New York Dolls. I mean, these are all kind of seminal tracks, but really cool to have them on this comp. Really good, highly recommend this one. Next up, I was lucky to get the first pressing of this. I think there were 1,500 of them. I love Voivod. It's really cool that, what label is this? Real Gone Music is releasing some of their really rare albums. The Outer Limits is a fantastic album. I can't remember if this was the first one when they went more the hard rock sound, or if it was the one before it, off the top of my head. Now for Record Store Day, the label is doing 2 more Voivod albums. They're the top of my list for this coming up Record Store Day, actually, which is in a couple days. One of them is being released this Saturday. The other one got pushed back to June, which is kind of nice because there's a lot of really killer stuff this year for Record Store Day, and I'm glad that half of it got moved to June because it was going to be way too much. There's just like 7 or 8 albums that I really want this time around, but it's really cool to see these Voivods getting pressed, and they did a really good job. This one sounds really good. I wish they would have done the 3D. I've got an original CD, the 3D with the glasses. It would have been cool if they did it here too. Next up, pulled this one out. I actually found this recently for cheap. I had an original pressing of this that I found for cheap as well. I think I found it for like $25 like 5 years ago. And then somebody offered me like 90 or $100 for it, and I sold it to them. And then I ran across this one for like $39.99, which is what the repress would cost. It's in excellent condition, but Garage Inc. I was so happy when this came out because I had for years had been getting bootlegs of all, Garage Days revisited, Garage Days revisited, so I was really happy when they put this all out together in one really nice package. And I still pull this out from time to time and give it a spin. And that's just kind of what this was. Pulled it out, gave it a spin. Next up, this is a local band here in the Atlanta area. They've just always been favorites around here since the 80s. And I have their first couple albums on CD, didn't have them on vinyl, and ran across this one for like $12 used. So I went ahead and grabbed it. It's the debut from Jackal, or the self-titled from Jackal. Can't remember what year this came out. I'll see, 92. I thought it was like 88 or 89. So there you go. I actually don't know if that, I called it their debut. I don't know if it was. This is one I've had forever. I got this when it was released maybe 2 years ago. And I listened to it then. And then for some reason it ended up back in my inbox. Probably just wanted to spin it again, and I spun it 3 or 4 times again. Just a fantastic live set. Actually, it's a couple live sets. I think it's from 3 different dates. June 6, 74, October 74, and December 75. 3 different BBC sessions. Again, Vern, if you run across anything from Vern Records, there's the name right there, VERNE. It's worth grabbing. Every single album, every single live that I've bought from them has sounded fantastic. Definitely worth grabbing if it's still available. Like I said, it's been a couple years, so you may not be able to find that one anymore. Speaking of doom metal, a little bit ago, this is one of those bands I don't know why nobody knows this band. This album is fantastic. So I first got this on CD maybe 7 or 8 years ago. I bought something from either Rockadrome or Hell's Headbangers, and it had to be Hell's Headbangers. And what they would do is if they had surplus stuff, they would throw in a free CD if you did an order over like $50. And I got a free CD of this album, but it was with a new album art. And I remember saying back then, I really wish that they would repress this to vinyl with the original album art, and they finally have. So really early really early doom. These guys get no credit for it. When you look at the early doom metal bands, you see Candlemass, you see Witchfinder General, bands that they were contemporary to. I believe their first album came out earlier than a couple of those bands, but these guys are never listed, and it's just a fantastic album. But this is Widow from the band Ritual. If you're a doom metal guy, if you're a new wave of British heavy metal guy, this is a must-have. Just a fantastic album. Next up, a little different. I've just kind of recently got into these guys, and I have to be in the mood for it. Sometimes I'll hear their album and it just doesn't do it for me. Sometimes I hear their music and I'm really digging it. Super progressive. What's the word I'm looking for? Super avant-garde. But this is the new album from Animals as Leaders. These guys are some of the most amazing musicians, but if you're not into like super avant-garde progressive metal, you're not going to like them. I recommend checking them out on eBay, on YouTube. And if you like them, grab their albums. All their albums they sound fantastic. The guitarist, Abasi, is one of the best ever. And the whole band is. They're some of the best musicians out there. This was a Newberry exclusive. This actually came out about a month ago. The Newberries are always behind for the exclusive, but it's Parisia is the name of the album. Animals as Leaders. All right. Next up, This is a band I've been talking about for years. I've always loved the first 3 albums from this band. Not so much the last album from a couple years ago. It just didn't do it for me. But See You in Hell from Grim Reaper. So I've had mint copies of their first 3 albums for years, but they were RCA pressings. I've always wanted an OG Ebony pressing, and I finally ran across a near mint one for a really good deal. I think I paid less than $30 for it, or maybe right at $30. I don't remember. But when I saw it, I had to get it. Just one of my favorite new wave of British heavy metal bands. And then to the Grails. That would be a Grail for a lot of people, but these are for me. When I saw the first one go up online, I bought it right away. The guy who was selling it needed some money. He was just trying to sell it fast, so he gave it to me, he listed it for way under the going price. And then as I was about to pay him, he messaged, "Hey, I've got this other album from the same band, from the same area," and asked me if I wanted it. That one's an even more expensive album, but I asked how much he wanted it for it, and he gave it to me for about $50 under what it goes for. So he gave me a killer deal on these two. They're both in fantastic condition. First up, we've got AC/DC, Dirty Deeds Done Dirt Cheap. Such a great deal. I can't remember. One of them is a second Australian pressing, and one of them is okay. So this one is a second Australian pressing from either 76 or early 77. I can't remember off the top of my head, but this has been a grail for me. I've always wanted this. This one, the one I'm about to show you in High Voltage, are 3 of my top grails. There were 3 of my top grails. But so we got the Dirty Deeds, and these are in fantastic condition. And then again, this is a first New Zealand pressing of, or maybe that one's a first pressing, and this one, I don't remember. One's a first pressing, one's a second pressing. This one's New Zealand, and this is TNT. I was blown. I think it was this one that he posted that I bought first, and then Dirty Deeds is the one he told me about. I would love to get High Voltage is one of my biggest grails, an original pressing of High Voltage, and I would love to get a first pressing Australian of oh my god, I'm drawing a blank. Doesn't matter. Anyway, just amazing. That's it, guys. I hope everybody's good. I'll do another video soon. Stay safe. Subscribe. Take care, BC.